Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lysha from Lysha Be Creative, and in today's tutorial we're going to be doing yet another Freshie tutorial. And so I know we've done one most recently on my channel, but I am going to be using some brand new products, and I'm going to be using some unscented aroma beads from Freshie Me. They're a brand new company that reached out and asked that I try out their Freshie beads, and so I said of course, as I'm gearing up for the holiday season and getting ready to put together some cute little Freshies for the holidays and to get those ready for packages. We're also going to be using some sticker paper from Koala Paper so that I can show you guys how I package these Freshies up and keep them nice and sealed so that they're ready and good to go to be added to goodie bags or to be added to those extra special gifts this holiday season. So of course, everything I use in today's tutorial will be listed and linked down in the description box down below. Definitely check that description box out for discount codes as well as links to all of my social media. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's tutorial. Alright, so for today's Freshie tutorial, we're going to be doing the same thing that we did in my last Freshie tutorial, but we're going to be using these aroma beads from Freshie Me This. What I love about this package is that it gives you the step-by-step directions directly on the back to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to prepare your Freshie beads so that they are definitely scented and ready to go into your molds. So that is something that I really loved when I looked at their packaging, and you can't even go wrong, of course, with all the brightly colored colors on the packaging. That immediately draws me to brands as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started with getting our aroma beads into our mason jars to be able to get them scented. So starting with my smaller mason jar, it was recommended that you started with about 8 ounces and then do a bit of the essential oils that I'm going to be using today. So I've gone ahead and I've just put my mason jar on top of the scale there, and I've obviously tared it so that it is at 0, and then we're going to fill this until my scale reads 8 ounces. Once it reads 8 ounces, I'll then be able to put in some of my fragrance oil to be able to scent these beads. So the one thing it did say on the package versus what I typically have done when making Freshies is it tells you to use a little bit of scent and a fragrance oil versus going the full 2 ounces, because you can always add more. So I did err on the side of adding less because both of the scents that I picked up from Amazon were much stronger scented, and so I didn't feel like I needed the full 2 ounces in my Freshie beads in order to get these really scented nicely. So the first scent I'm going in with is teakwood. I picked up both of these fragrance oils from Amazon. They were really inexpensive, and I like that they were the larger size bottles, but you can pick up fragrance oils from almost anywhere to be able to get some nice holiday scents. So we're going to go ahead and shake that one up, and then we'll go ahead and prepare our other jar. So same sort of thing we're going to do here again. Put my mason jar on the scale, make sure it reads 0, and then we're going to do 8 ounces of the Freshie beads, and then we're going to be adding our scent. So the second scent that I'm going to be using is called Chanel No. 5. And it is kind of like a beautiful, like cottony smell. I don't know, it's like a very fresh, feminine scent, I suppose. I've never had Chanel perfume, and I don't even actually know if this is what it smells like, but it did smell quite nice. So I'm going to add just a little bit of the fragrance oil into there, and we're going to go ahead and add micas as well. So it does tell you that you can add micas right at this point. You guys know that typically I will do clear beads first and get them scented and then kind of separate things out, but I decided to do things a little bit different, and I'm going to add the mica powders in while I am going to be waiting for those beads to cure, just to see if I get any kind of different results. So I've just went in with some green mica powder from Vinyl Gallery. I have a link and discount code down in the description box if you're looking to pick up some brand new pigmented mica powders. So I'm going to put the green in my larger jar, and then in my smaller jar, which is my other scent, I'm going to go ahead and we are going to put the blue mica powder inside of this one. Give these ones a good shake. Make sure that you're shaking them so that all the color is mixed throughout and all the fragrance oil has also mixed throughout your beads. And then you're going to set these on a table, on a shelf somewhere, and kind of shake them every day, a couple times a day, just to make sure all of the aroma beads are mixed thoroughly and to make sure that you have the aroma beads all scented and they're all dry before we go ahead to get these baked. After my aroma beads are fully cured, I'm going to show you kind of some of the things that I picked up. So all of these items I picked up from Amazon with the exception of the parchment paper and the cookie sheet, but we're going to be using some silicone molds. I also have some metal cookie cutters which you can use, as well as some wooden beads that we'll use for decorating and kind of sprucing up and making them look nice and cute. But you can certainly grab either silicone molds or metal cookie cutters to be able to create the shapes for your Freshie. So I'm going to go with the silicone molds today, and I got a pack of 4 for really inexpensive on Amazon, and we're going to take a couple of these and be able to create our Freshies. So I decided that I'm going to go with the trees because of course that is totally my vibe for the holiday season, as well as these really cute snowflake molds. So I figured those would be the ones that we would utilize to be able to create the Freshies for these 2 scents. So I've just lined a cookie sheet with a bit of parchment paper just to prevent any of the Freshie or aroma beads for getting on my cookie sheet and sort of melting on there. I like to just have that layer of protection there. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get these into our molds. So these are regular baking molds. They can go in the oven, so you don't have to worry about them melting, but definitely make sure that whatever molds you are grabbing, if you're going to be using silicone molds, make sure that they're baking molds and ones that can be used in a oven. So now we're going to go ahead and pour our Freshie beads into our molds. So I've just grabbed a cup as well as a stir stick just to help me get all of the Freshie beads into my molds here. We're going to start with the green, and of course we're going to put the green ones inside of the tree mold here. I like to use my stir stick to be able to push out all of the Freshie beads into those crevices and corners of the mold. I'm going to fill these up probably almost all of the way. You guys have seen in my last tutorial for Freshies that I would only fill them up about 3/4 of the way, but I really like the thickness of these molds, and I like the thickness of thicker Freshies to hang. So I decided to go the majority of the way into the mold versus only going about halfway as I did in my last tutorial. Obviously this means I'll have to bake them a little bit longer, which is perfectly fine, but I really wanted to have kind of a thicker Freshie because these are a little bit smaller than I had thought that they would be. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, we're really getting as much scent as we can into that mold. So I'm just going to continue and finish up filling up all of the tree molds here, and then we'll go ahead and move into filling up our snowflake molds. All right, so now we're going to move on to the snowflake mold here. So I'm going to take my other Freshie beads that have been tinted with the blue mica, and I'm going to pour those into a cup and then get those into the 2 center snowflake molds of the silicone molds. I'm going to fill those up almost all the way to the tippy top there, and then I'm going to grab another set of Freshie beads that I had prepared. They are scented with Black Frost from Stay Fresh with Peanut, which is one of the scents I used in my other Freshie tutorial, so I'll also link that down in the description box. Those ones I didn't tint at all with the mica powders. I wanted to leave those clear so that I could add some glitter to these. So I'm going to grab these in a brand new cup, and we're going to mix some glitter in with the Freshie beads in order to kind of give it some sparkle, you know, give it something fun. So in this first batch and in 2 of the molds for the snowflakes, I'm going to be adding Diamond Magic, which is this little canister here. It's a glitter mica, a very, very fine mica powder. And then I'm going to go ahead and add Flashy Snowflake to this as well. So both of those are from Maisha Creations, and I will have a link and disc code down in the description box. So we're going to add a little bit of sparkle to this because why not? Snowflakes are super pretty, and I wanted to kind of showcase and bring out that sparkliness of a true snowflake, and why not add a little bit of glitter, right? So I'm going to mix that really well, and then I'm going to get this poured into 2 of my snowflake molds. What I do love about this snowflake mold too is they're all different snowflakes, which was really nice. It wasn't just the same snowflake. It was like 3 different versions of a snowflake, which I thought was really cool because then it just made it so much easier to kind of decorate these all slightly differently. And I'm just really thrilled with how these ones came out. Anyway, going back to what we're doing, I am just going to fill up these molds with the Freshie beads that I have just added the 2 glitters to. And then I'm going to do the same process again, filling that cup back up with some of the clear Freshie beads that are scented with Black Frost. And this time I'm going to add a little bit of Diamond Magic, which is that fine glitter mica, as well as Sugar Sweet, which is also from my Asia Creations. Sugar Sweet is like a pink chunky custom mix. It's really beautiful. It's a very like light pastel pink, and I just love Sugar Sweet as a color. It's beautiful by itself. It's beautiful on just, you know, like a white base or a pink base. It just is a really pretty color that I had to make sure I had multiple bags of because it is definitely one of my top faves. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of Sugar Sweet to the top of this cup of my Freshie beads, and then give that again a nice mix and stir and get those poured into my last two snowflake molds. So once I'm done getting my molds filled, it's now time to take these upstairs and get these in the oven. Something that I did not film is that I did forget to show you guys putting the roofing nails into my molds. You'll see them when they come out, but I just add some like 2-3 inch long roofing nails just to create the hole for the twine or whatever string I'm going to be using to go through. And I do that right before I put it in the oven versus down here, because obviously I have to walk all the way upstairs to go to the oven, and I wanted to make sure that they didn't all collapse. So I'm going to put these in the oven at 350, and I baked them for about 15 to 20 minutes. After they're done baking, I do let these cool for a bit, and as you'll see, my roofing nails did not stay straight up like I had originally placed them, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and demold these now that they're all cool, and then I'm going to remove all of the roofing nails from inside of the Freshie. So they're slightly warm. They're pretty cool to the touch, so I didn't have too hard of a time getting the roofing nails out, but the longer that you wait for these to cool, definitely the harder it is to get the roofing nails out. So I'm going to go ahead and finish demolding these, and then I will remove the roofing nails so I have a space to put my twine or ribbon or string through. And then of course we're going to get into what is my favorite part, which is decorating. So let's go ahead and jump right into getting these nicely, beautifully designed so that we can get them ready for packaging. Another thing that I do right after I've taken these out of the mold and removed the roofing nails is I'm going to take a pair of scissors and just cut any of the spiky ends, because the way that these bake in the oven, you will sometimes get some of the Freshie or Aroma beads. They kind of melt in a weird way and create like these spiky edges along the edge of your Freshie. So you can easily clean that up by just using your scissors and just cutting along that and making a nice even edge, making sure that you don't have anything that's sticking up or looking jagged and just looking, you know, not aesthetically pleasing. So I'm going to finish just trimming these all up, and then we're going to go ahead and add some design elements. All right, so to get us started here, I'm going to use some acrylic paint pens as well as these cute little gems that I got from Michaels. And I'm going to just do some, you know, coloring of a couple of the snowflakes with my paint pens and then adding these little gems to the tree. So I end up changing up how my snowflakes are decorated, and I'm going to add glitter, which you won't see video of, but it's really simple in how I do that, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But I am going to add some of these cute little gems to my tree mold here. I thought it came out so cute. And now that that's done, I'm going to show you guys how I finish these off. So I did go ahead and I added some little wooden beads as well as some twine or this Chinese cord that I'm using as well. It's like Chinese wax cord. It's really durable and actually worked really well. I liked that over the twine that I was using. And as you'll know, I did also end up glittering some of the, actually all of the front sides of my snowflakes to be able to kind of give them a different look. I didn't really care for the acrylic paint pen look, and I thought about like painting them with acrylic paint, but I decided that let's just make them sparkly, because why not? So what I do is I cut a little bit of the cord or whatever I'm going to be using to string these, and I push that through the hole that I created with the roofing nail, and then I kind of double knot that up top. So there's a knot right where the string goes through the Freshie, and then I'm going to grab out a few of the beads from this bag of wooden beads that I got off Amazon, and I'm just going to string those with both strings onto this Chinese wax cord that we're using here. And so these wood beads have pretty decent size holes, but I did note that the cord that I'm using is really thick too, so some of the beads I had a harder time getting them to string. You certainly could alternatively use bubblegum beads. You could use regular pony beads if you wanted to. Whatever you're kind of, thinking or looking to add a little bit of extra to your Freshies to kind of jazz them up to hang, I think is a great idea. So I am just going to finish stringing these, and then the last thing I'll do is I will tie a knot right above the beads so that the beads are stationary and don't move. And then the last thing is I will tie a knot right at the top of the string so that there is enough slack for the customer to be able to hang this in a room, on their rear view mirror, in a space in their home, wherever they feel like they're going to hang this for that beautiful fresh scent. Trim off the edges, and then I'm going to finish up getting all of these strung and adding some cute beads. And then of course I'm going to show you guys exactly what it looks like to get these all packaged up. So here's just a sped up version of me adding all of these cute beads and adding the string to all of the different Freshies here. I did a lot of different styles and designs with the beads, and I just love how it all turned out.
Okay, so now we're in Cricut Design Space, and I want to show you guys how I created the stickers that we're going to be using to apply on the bag, that both are going to be like holiday related stickers, winter stickers, but also be able to identify what scent the Freshie is. So I'm going to start a new project. And the first thing I'm going to do is upload my 2 images. So you guys saw me use the Let It Snow image in my last tutorial. I also downloaded this Happy Holidays image from Creative Fabrica, which I will list and link down in the description box. So let's get those into my canvas here. Okay, so I'm going to resize my Happy Holidays because it came in really big. We'll just do it to 4 for now. And then we have our Let It Sew. So our Happy Holidays is actually a PNG. I imported it into Cricut Design Space as a PNG, but our Let It Snow right now is a basic cut, which means it's an SVG design. So I want to change that really quick with that highlighted to a print then cut image. That way I'm able to create this and turn this into a sticker rather. All right, so I'm thinking that I want these to be kind of large, but not too big. So I'm going to size each of the images that I have here to be about 2.5. That's a pretty decent size sticker, something that's not going to take up, kind of the whole front side of the, packaging, so that you can still see the Freshie in the packaging as well. So with these 2 images, I'm now going to go over to shapes, and I'm going to grab a square. I like this one with the rounded corners. It seems to be my favorite right now. I'm going to change the color of this to white, and then I'm going to right click and send it to the back so I can send it behind it. So now we're just going to size this to kind of fit around our sticker, or around our image rather. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to kind of fit so that there's enough, space. Move that over. I'm going to duplicate this. So right click, duplicate. Do the same with this one. Send it to the back. This one I'll have to make a little bit bigger, which means that overall my stickers are going to be a little bit bigger than 2.5, which is fine. Okay. So now I'm going to select both the background image as well as the PNG as well as the shape. And I'm going to center both of these. So clicking the align button and center. I'll do the same with the Let It Snow. So click the align button and center. And then I'm going to select them. I'm going to attach them. And then I'm also going to flatten the image. That way, when I send this to my printer, and then when I go to cut it with Cricut, Cricut's going to cut out the shape behind it and not try and cut out all these little intricate details. I'm going to do the same with this one. So select both, attach it first, then flatten it. And now I have my 2 images for stickers. Okay. So let's set those to the side. And now we're going to create the stickers that are going to be the scent. Okay. So I'm just going to select a text. Let's move this up here. And I think I have a Christmas kind of font. Let's see. Okay, so there's a Christmas stocking font, which is in Cricut Design Space. So I'm just going to use that one. Highlight my text, and we're going to change the wording here. So one of my scents is teak wood. So let's do teak wood. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to make this small. This is going to be like a 1.5-inch sticker or around that size. Okay. And we're going to change the wording to be black. And then I am going to make sure to also change this to a print then cut. So it's actually printed versus cut out of, vinyl. Then we're going to grab a shape just like we did before. We're going to do a circle this time though. I'm going to change the color to white because I'll be printing on white and I don't want it to be colored. Send that to the back. And now we're just going to make this a little bit smaller so that it fits. Okay. So that looks pretty good. I might make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Now we're going to select both again. I'm going to align them. So center, that'll center it. I then will attach them and flatten. That way it cuts out the circled shape. Okay, so that's teak wood. And at this point, I could make it smaller if I wanted. So if I really want the whole sticker to be 1.5, this would be a great opportunity to size it to be that size. Same thing with these, right? So if these are a little bit too big, if I want them to be 2.5 inch, I can now select them and just change them to kind of fit the sizing that I originally was going for. Okay, so I have one sticker done. Let's do one more. So I'm going to go back to text. It's the same text font Christmas stocking we were using. Then we're going to do Chanel number 5. So this is such a long word. I don't want it to be on one line. So I am going to put it on the second line, but I don't really care for the space that's in between the first line and the second line. So I'm going to go up here to line space. And I'm going to decrease the space of that. That way it kind of squishes the lines together. Just until I'm kind of satisfied. I don't want it to be super close, but I didn't like the space that was there. So I'm going to make this smaller. And I'm going to change this to a print then cut. And now we can go grab our shape again. So we're going to do another circle. Change that color to white. Send that to the back. And just fit this kind of around here. That way there's not so much space, but it's still a decent sized circle. So highlight both, click center. And now I can attach and flatten them. And at this point, I can go ahead and change this to be a 1.5-inch sticker, just like my teakwood sticker is, okay? So at this point, what I can go ahead and do is I'm going to duplicate these as many times as I need to so that I have enough for the bags. Okay, so I'll probably do about 8 to 10 of each of these. Whatever extras I have, I'll use for the other Freshies that I create with the leftover aroma beads. And I will do the same with these. So let's go ahead and send these to my printer and then get these cut with Cricut.
So I did print these on the Koala inkjet vinyl sticker paper. And so I was sent this from Koala Paper and I absolutely really love this product. I wasn't really sure how I feel about it. I don't use sticker paper very often, but I was really pleased with how everything prints. The print quality was great. I didn't really have to do any changing of settings or anything like that. And I even got my Cricut to cooperate for once, and I actually was able to cut out all of the shapes with the print and cut feature of my Cricut. So now that I have all of those pieces kind of assembled, I did use the sticker paper settings with more pressure in order to make sure that it cut all the way through the paper so I didn't have to keep the entire sheet. You don't have to do that. You can just do the normal pressure, but it's whatever works for you. So I have these 5x7 holographic bags. They have a clear film side and then they have the holographic backing. And so on the back side, I'm going to be using the larger sticker that kind of is like the theme, right, of the Freshie. So I'm going to use the Let It Snow stickers for my snowflake ones. And then of course for my tree designs, I'm going to do the Happy Holidays sticker on that back side. So once I put my Freshie inside, I then will put the scent sticker on the front side so that they know what scent it is. And then that's kind of done. This is a great opportunity if you do plan to sell your Freshies. Stick a business card in there, or maybe even put some directions as to how long your Freshies last, which can be anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, depending on which fragrances that you're using. So here's a final look at a couple of the Freshies that I put together with the cute little beads. And so these just came out so sinking cute. And so as part of this tutorial, I am also including a giveaway. So because I was sent so many supplies to create Freshies, I don't have the time to do all of these. So I want to extend this opportunity to one of you. So if you would love to win this entire goodie package of how you can make Freshies on your own, all you have to do is like this video and comment down below, and then I'll be picking a winner shortly. Of course, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. And if you aren't already, definitely subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!